late game.
They are splitting Ancients, though. Carl, or normally 23 Savage would want these Ancients, but Batrider nowadays can farm Ancients. He is going to spend his time sticking those things up.
Yep.
Should have to get 10 holes charges before he can Firefly, because his Firefly is only level 1.
And even though he didn't die mid, he did get pushed out of the lane. He's a full level behind Abed, who is, you know, level 8 and a half, so he needs this farm as well as XP, it feels like. He's, even though the Ember doesn't have the farming build, is doing well here as T1 look to mount a defense at this top tower.
This rotation by Cuckoo.
Yep, he TPs on up, they take out Fly, they get him with the dunk. But Whitemon will pay the price for this one. Cuckoo very tanky with his Vanguard. Can he find more? Maybe wants the Helm of the Dominator creep. Another missile will chase down Ice. But I believe everybody has scurried away too far for T1 to really chase down anyone else.
So Carl's got his Boots of Travel now, which is so important for his map presence. It allows him to get crucial kills on cores without ruining his own farming game, because he can TP to fights, but he doesn't have to TP to this.
Have they got the damage for this one? No.
Cuckoo, though.
Ooh!
Oh, he even pump faked it, too. Okay. So Abed had to use 2 of his Remnant charges to get away from that. He's going to get a bottle refill, though, by Fly. Arteezy doing a lot of damage to tower bottom, but Carl is going to be able to rotate to this. Still has Firefly available. And they have Treant Protector to heal these up as long as they don't lose them. They have so much tower damage between the Lycan and the Tiny. I can't imagine he can out-sustain all of this damage across all the lanes.
Similar to game 1, we're seeing two teams not looking to, like, you know, put their foot on the gas and, like, you know, charge at objectives or charge at the other teams. They're playing this more slower, methodical, farm-oriented game.
Yeah, it's interesting. Whenever I say Gyro played like this, I imagine like 90% of the map farm that's safe is geared towards giving it to him. But the fact that Carl has been being greedy to get his Boots of Travel, which is standard on Batrider, it's not like he's misplaying, is causing it so that 23 Savage is second in net worth to Tiny, despite having pretty much a free lane.
This is cool. You see there the Wolves blocking the Ancient stack, blocking both camps. We saw this Singapore Major. I mean, he's seen a lot with him when he played a lot of Nature's Prophet, and he would always do this with his treants. He micros them to block the enemy Ancients, or at least block them from being stacked. That is a lot of gold being denied from T1.
That's super annoying. You don't want to be like supports can't deal with that, right?
Yeah.
Like they won't kill the wolf in time, so you'd have to be a core preventing that from happening, which is just not going to happen. If I'm a core and you're telling me I have to go protect my own Ancients by killing some wolves that give me 20 gold, I'm going to tell you to screw off.
Yeah.
Even though it's for my own good.
And that clearly is the game plan, is to just play this slow game where we're farming, playing the efficiency, farming our triangles. So it is heavily paying off to deny your enemy's gold while securing your own goal. That is a great way to play this game.
I'm not sure who outcarries who between Tiny and Gyro if they both get a lot of farm.
Here come the Wolves again. They're going to be a little bit late this time, but you can see the idea was there once again. Even not blocking the camps, it's giving them good intel, because this time around EG are going for a smoke play. They want to get aggressive, and they see...
This is the 5-head play. Don't block so that you smoke into them farming it.
Yep. I believe T1 are reading this movement, though. EG themselves, they didn't block it because they get to farm it. Arteezy. Haven't seen too much from him. All right, there we go. Crit's getting back on.
He's going to land his next arrow. Guaranteed. I'm going to keep track of it for you guys. Don't worry. I promise you. If it doesn't work, it's because he didn't apply the promo code correctly.
Okay, they're going to throw out the overgrowth. Should be a lasso to follow this one up. Have they got the damage for it? No, they don't need the lasso.
Nice.
Well,
that's really nice.
Well played by T1. Chaining it perfectly. Oh, they found the relocate. The Wolves were there. Arrow catches them. Didn't need the setup.
Like I said, guaranteed to land. So, consolation prize for EG.
Yep.
At the same time, though, somehow they're up by 2K. I guess it's just the map efficiency that they're going for, like by stealing the Ancients and getting the Ancients. Clearly, that adds up a lot.
And we saw it the one time. I don't know if I may have happened several times. I feel like we never really saw that stack other than the one time the Batrider farmed like a triple stack. So
T1 is farming on a lot of heroes. Cuckoo's getting his Blink Dagger. Carl's going for his BKB, and Gyro's Gyrocopter. He's going for the Ags, but he's going to be farming for a little while. And suddenly we've got a Tiny with Shadow Blade. And just to do some quick math, the Shadow Blade gives you 175 damage. He hits for 240, so that means if he hits you twice, that is like 640 damage, plus the Avalanche Toss combo. Let's just assume that's exactly 680 damage.
Okay.
That was just a random number. That's a lot of damage, is what I'm getting at here.
That's some NA, man.
And a lot of heroes on T1, if alone, will die to that. Yep. Honestly, all the cores, I think RTZ plus even just like a Sleight of Fist would be good enough to finish them all off. So now they're going to have to play like the buddy system while they're all trying to get items, which is going to make things a bit awkward. And if they bleed 1 or 2 more kills, it's going to bleed into more and more kills the way heroes like Tiny work.
Feels like one of the issues that we're seeing for T1 is there's just not enough farm to go around. Like,
yeah.
Barrow's like, I kind of want to farm this triangle, then Gyro's like, no, I get priority. So instead, they're going to go for some kills. They find another opening to go and ice up top, and he gets taken out. Yeah, there's not enough farm to go around, so at some point you have to make other plays, and they're going to find a kill there.
I don't think EG cares about that. Like, what would Ice be doing otherwise? He was pushing top lane. That's pretty much his job in the game, and he's just going to respawn and push top again. So what this is doing is T1 is buying more time to farm. So EG doesn't care about that, but T1 is very happy to have that extra minute of space that they get from that.
Fly getting some nice deep wards down with the help of the Moonlight Shadow. Tucking himself in. Does not have a TP to get out, so we'll see. Looks like he's going to be able to scurry himself out of there undetected as EG, continue to maintain this gold lead. It does feel like T1 don't have that hero that can safely push out these lanes. Like, every time I see their close farming, it's like, okay, they're in the jungle. No one seems to be able to do what we saw last game from, like, the Snapfire, where it's like, okay, I'm gonna just go and double nuke a wave, and we're good.
Yeah, we're seeing how Arteezy's playing, right? Most of the time when he's not hitting lane creeps, he's just sitting invis and Shadow Blade, hoping to catch somebody out of position. And you have to imagine from T1's perspective. You know, if Carl's considering showing himself on a creep wave, what if there's an invisible Tiny there? It makes you second guess every little thing you're doing on the map, and you'll hesitate to farm creep waves that you would otherwise feel safe to farm, and that will naturally eke out just a little bit of net worth lead over time for EG, but it has stagnated. 23 Savage is farming quite fast. He's got the Ags now, feeling pretty tanky with the stats build. Got like that extra 200 HP or so.
Yep.
So I have that burst. Cuckoo, not really feeling like he can do anything maybe, or doesn't have to do anything with his Blink Dagger, because he's got it now, but he's kind of just still doing the same thing. They got the kill on Ice. But since then, he's been chilling.
This Fly Vision game, he's just got sentries littered around this dire jungle. He's got the Observer Ward, he D-wards there with the help of his Courier. May pay the price for it, but similar to the Ice kills, he is probably not really going to cost EG a whole lot by going down here.
He aggroed the jungle camp in order to have the creeps hit him so that he would spin more. That was really cool. He like went out of his way to stop attacking Fly to draw the aggro of the creeps.
Also, they killed the Io, so EG getting a support of their own and
a tower.
Yeah, they are finding all the good trades on this map, it feels like. Up to a 3k gold lead. They're down on kills, but not the number that's particularly important right now.
I really think the difference here is that both teams need to push waves, and the fear is like the threat of the kill threat of both teams. Like you have the Lasso plus Axe Call, like pretty scary. And then you have the Tiny off map with the Mirana. Both very scary, but Lycan can push waves safely with his summons. And Tiny is incredibly tanky. You're going to have to dedicate like 3 or 4 heroes minimum to killing him. And EG just kills towers really fast. Like if they ever get to the tower itself, despite the tree armor, Lycan Tiny, that is about it. The most tower damage you can have. We talked about last game having virtually none. And now that just has netted a 3-for-0 tower lead for EG, despite T1 having the Treant Protector, who's usually meant to keep those tier 1s alive.
I think T1 getting a bit fed up of losing this economy battle. They got to be feeling frustrated having their camps blocked, these wolves just constantly scouting them out, preventing them making plays, blocking their camps. And they try and make a move bottom, it just doesn't connect, and while that's happening, EG's just walked their way into the Roshan pit now.
It's honestly pretty genius by EG that they are just playing for the objective pressure, because the thing about T1's draft that I'm seeing is lacking is that they don't have objective threat until Gyro gets a bunch of items. Until Gyro's hitting really hard, they can't take Roche efficiently, they can't take towers safely, and every time EG forces a rotation from T1, you saw them take mid tower earlier. Now you see them taking Roche. Both teams are farming about the same amount, I think, but there's just objectives for EG. That's pretty much their entire net worth lead, and there's no easy way for T1 to get objectives, and so every fight they take will be on their own side of the map, which means they're kind of having to fight their way out of this containment that EG has. And if you're always on your own side of the map taking fights, that just never leads to objectives of your own.
Yeah. Yet to take a single tower at 20+ minutes in, despite, you know, having some kills, having some top net worth on a gyrocopter, they just aren't able to put together that move or that play that will open up the game. Now they've got to deal with an Aegis on Arteezy's Tiny. He's really the big threat, the big carry of this game, at least for now, it feels like.
They have a timing, though. Batrider BKB coming, Satanic on Gyro coming, and Axe BKB a little bit slower than those other two timings, but they're coming. So that's, I mean, it's just a matter of T1, how much time do they need to buy?
No.
What are they waiting for? How many of these big items do they think they need in order to make the play to change the status quo of the map right now?
Gets slightly scattered out, but Crit doesn't have any good way of catching him. No Yule Scepter or anything. Has got the Spirit Vessel, so that's going to make life that little bit trickier for these healing supports of T1.
They don't want to bleed. The T1 has said they've had enough of towers that they've given up. Yeah. Even 23 Savage inconveniencing his farming in order to defend this, as he does have the Satanic. He is the strongest core on his team to defend towers at this point. Axe doesn't feel comfortable getting initiated onto. The whole point of that hero is to go on them. And Batrider, without a BKB, I think he just dies to a single Searing Chains. I think that will be full to 0 for him if they have the arrow follow-up. But he's got the BKB now. Going for the shard. Philosopher's Stone on Bat feels pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
You're pretty much never attacking.
Poor supports. They're like, yes, Philosopher's Stone. Oh, okay. Never mind.
You can have my hand-me-downs when
Yeah.
the tier 3s come out, says Carl.
I mean, he's not had the easiest game just because there's not been much farm on the map for him, is it? Arrow finds the Axe here, but no follow-up. Cuckoo will be able to walk himself out of there.
See, he realizes that he already cashed in on the previous one. He's landed 3 arrows since, that he now has to refresh the arrow accuracy count.
3 charges, just like the Loops.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Crit, for showing people the way. As Grove Bow on Gyro. That's a nice item.
Very nice, yep.
Let's see, what does Tiny have? I believe he always chooses
a Fey
Grenade. Yeah, he always chooses move speed items on Tiny because the hero lacks mobility. Holy Locket on Witch Doctor. He's got the Yules plus Maelstrom on Ember. Just a little bit of item catch up here.
This is feeling like the more classic EG game. Like we're gonna just farm you out. We don't care about kills. We'll poke at objectives, force a rotation. It's the starvation Dota. But here come T1. They're fed up. They get a Blink Call initiation onto Crit's Mirana. And EG, the second they see a 4 or 5-man smoke gang towards them, they'll sacrifice one and go farm elsewhere on the map. They're happy to give up 1 kill as long as it doesn't lead to an objective, as long as they continue farming.
The way EG's lineups always work is so fascinating because their heroes individually always function better than the opponent. And T1 knows this, so they're trying to force these 5-on-5s. But now T1's separated.
That's a relocate back in. Jump in from Abed, finds the eye on the backlines here as Cuckoo does get helped out by the Living Armor. The flak just spreading on out here. Have they got the damage? I don't believe they do. Toss coming up, the Gyrocopter in some trouble here. He's been left alone. Can he heal himself back up? He needs the Eye of Support as well. He is healing. He's doing a good job here, but it's just not quite enough. The damage isn't there. Even with the tether, he's keeping himself alive, but his teammates are just falling one by one as Arteezy gets an ultra kill. Can he get the Rampage? He need to cancel a TP. He won't get the chance to do so. He gets denied the Rampage, but EG convincingly win that fight.
I didn't see if Crit landed an arrow, but clearly he did because he's refreshing just in case. He might have landed 3 arrows worth of a 1 arrow, but I don't know if you can give EG Tiny.
Yeah.
This hero is a skirmish hero. You pretty much never want to take direct 5-on-5s where both teams have 5 heroes to start the fight. That was such a cool move by them because what they did was they knew T1 had to make a move. T1 made the move. They found somebody on EG. EG just ditched them. Like, they just said, hey, crit, you're dead. See you later. And then T1's not just going to sit there holding each other's hands, so they separate, and EG immediately punishes that.
Yeah, and they run at them so fast. You've got this Aghanims on the Lycan now, so the Wolf Bite onto the Tiny can just be so powerful here. As T1 getting very low, that Ember chip and harasses. You can't run when there's this Ember in the game.
So, only thing I can imagine that's scarier than a Tiny, like, killing you is a Tiny that crits, like, 70% of the time for 200% damage trying to kill you here, as we see that exact thing happening here.
Yeah, you see this Wolf running at you, and you're like, wait, why is he stunning me? What's going on?
It does make him melee. We were wondering about that earlier.
Okay.
So, Tiny, even with Tree, you don't see him holding it, but he still has all the bonuses of Tree, but he is the melee range.
Yep.
So it's not as broken as it theoretically could be, but the fact that Tiny hits for 360 and then you're making him crit almost every hit is
And you've got that
terrifying.
movement speed, so you kind of make up for the lost attack range.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of Tiny just go for this Moon Shard. And Gyro and Tiny nowadays kind of carry in the same way in regards to eventually their be-all, end-all is to stand still hitting buildings and dare you to go on them. And just say, we're going to dump out so much damage when you go on me that if you don't go on me now, you're going to lose all your buildings. And Tiny seems to hit that threshold like 10 minutes earlier with like 5,000 gold less than Gyro needs, which seems to be the problem with the hero and what makes him first pickable for EG in the draft.
EG flipped on today. They are having a fantastic day of Dota.
Does it
Flawless.
feel like T1 has messed up? I don't feel like they've messed up.
It feels like a very strategic defeat so far. It's not over yet. They're looking to mount a defense of this tier 2 tower, but the Batrider just gets chased down by the Arteezy Wolf Tiny. They are just getting herded back to their base.
Wait, is he melee or not? I can't tell.
Yeah, he's
That
looking
looks
pretty
pretty
melee.
far.
Triple kill now. This time, can he get the Rampage? He gets back to the high ground on the Io. The chase is on. Abed wants to finish him off, but he gets nice, well and truly back to safety there as this is feeling pretty hopeless for T1. They just felt like they couldn't do anything this game. They were up like 8 kills to 4 and just nothing happening, but this one has not felt particularly close.
I think this game's actually over. Gyro's dead for 30 seconds, and
EG think it's over. They're hitting tier 4s. They're going for Throne.
you weren't aware, Tiny will kill your entire base in 30 seconds.
Yes.
That's cool.
Well, you've got to defend your Ancient, and T1
They are not going to.
cannot. GG is called, and EG secure themselves their second 2-0 of the day. They've still got one more series to play, so it's good to play 3 series on the day where you're playing your best Dota. As for T1, I'm not sure if they have another series today to play. I know EG had 6 games, but they're going to at some point need to just reset because they're playing